I am back at a site that I have detected before. Now on paper, the 1877 plat map, this place looked no different than any of the other sites that Dan and I like to detect, these extinct farmsteads in farm fields. But when we got here and we started detecting, we started finding coin after coin, including an 1827 large cent, a 3-cent nickel, which are the copper kind, which are kind of rare here in Minnesota, some Indians, some shield nickels, and the crown jewel of the day of the site, which was an 1877 beautiful seated $50 that Dan found. So when you find a site like this, you come back again and again and again, right? That's what we do. So Dan and I have hit this place a number of times, and we've even invited a friend of ours to come out and detect it. So it has been pretty well scoured. So this is the reason I'm here today. I would like to give Gary Blackwell's Tekkna program a real test. Now, this ground has not been turned since we were here in the fall. So I think it's a pretty apples to apples comparison. It's also a very contained area. So when I say we've scoured it, you know, there's not a lot of area here, maybe an acre. So I think this will be a real test for Tekkna to see if we can scrounge something else out. So the reason we found out later that this site was different is because this was not a farmer who lived here in 1877. He was an accountant for one of the many flour mills in the area. So he had some money. And apparently his wife did not mend up the holes in his pockets because he dropped a few things. And I'm hoping to find something else here. So if you are seeing this video, it means that, yes, I did find something. So stay tuned. I can't wait to see what it is.
Old as dirt.
I am using the Tekkna program as it is set up. Now, the only thing I think I'm going to change is the iron volume. It is just overpowering. And there's a lot of iron in here, so I am just going to turn that down a bit. It was on 10. Let's take it down to 6. Otherwise, first thing we do is a noise cancel. So holding it up in the air, waiting for it to go do its thing. I should play the theme from Jeopardy while this is going through its noise canceling. Okay, so we are ready to roll. And we'll see what we can turn up here. All right, I've got a pretty nice 62 signal here. Did we miss a shield nickel? Nope, it is just a shotgun shell. But you know what? We did not find that before. We would have dug that. Any one of us would have dug that. All right, that's a little heartening. This is a 57, kind of a low conductor or mid conductor. But you know, you could find a trime or a small silver in that range. So we dig them. Oh, check that out. This is a piece of suspender clasp, I do believe. I guess that's something. Well, here we have a 45, 46. This was in the middle of a lot of other tones, and Tekkna zoomed right in on it. So it could just be a piece of mystery metal. But I'm surprised to find any non-ferrous in this field after we've been through it. So this looks like a smashed 22 shell casing. Well, as is typical of these extinct farmsteads, this site is just loaded with iron. Tekkna is reputed to be very good in iron, which is another reason why I have used it so much, and why I wanted to try it out on this site. But this is just a rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat of most likely nails. I am 90% sure this is iron falsing because it sounds like a mess. Although there is an 83 in there that wants to be separate from the iron signals, so I don't know. Let's see. Okay, there's a nail. That I expected. Is there anything else? Still iron. Still a high tone mixed in with the iron, so I'm pretty sure this is going to be more iron, just more falsing. And there's the other culprit. Now, is there anything else? No. Clean as a whistle. I just found this really pretty shard. I don't know what kind of a container this was. It has a really cool looking number 2 on it, though. I can't even identify the age of that type style. So I'm going to have to show this around to some bottle experts. See if they have a thought. Well, here we have a 52. Sounds pretty good in both directions. This is part of an oil lamp where the wick came through. Okay. Well, there's an artifact we didn't find. I'm surprised it came in at such a low VDI, but that's what that is. All right, here we have a 75. It looks like it might be right in that top clump. It is, looks like either part of a snap. Yeah, or maybe a small, very small 2-piece button. Let me see if I can get a better look at. Oh, no, this is, I think I see a U on there, which would mean that this is the top of a shell casing. The U stood for United Metallic Cartridge Company. Now, they started back in the late 1800s through the early 1900s, so this is very likely period to this homestead. So this was on the surface. I actually swung over and got a solid, I don't know what the number was, probably in the 30s or 20s. It's a carbon rod from a battery. Now, the only reason I'm interested in these is because these make good sacrificial iron, carbon in this case, for your electrolysis setup. They work really well. They just dissolve. And yeah, I keep these. Well, I am in the area where I believe the house was, because this is just a machine gun rat-a-tat-tat of iron sounds. And this is where I would expect Tekkna to really prove its worth, in among the iron. So I'm just going to pick my way really slowly through this nail concentration and see if there is anything Tekkna can make of this. I've got a 78 right here. Again, this was interesting in that I swung over it and there was just a cacophony of iron tones, but on the backswing, this one popped out. So it's a It's a sign of good separation, I think, in my non-professional opinion, that Tekkna is able to lock in on this, even though it's surrounded by iron. Oh, is this a percussion cap? I think that's what that is. Oh, no, I think this is just a rivet, some kind of rivet. You know, one of the things I did not mention in my intro was that the three of us who detected this acre were all using Deus 2 detectors. Now, I don't know what programs everyone else used, but this predates the Tekkna program, so we know it wasn't Tekkna. So I thought, you know, this is another reason why this is a good apples-to-apples comparison of Tekkna versus other Deus 2 programs. Well, this signal is a pretty nice sounding 8586 that way, and then nothing but iron that way. So I am hearing some iron with the 8586. This is almost certainly going to be iron. And I wish there would be a cure for this kind of false signal. But then I guess anyone could metal detect. Did that sound snobby? I'm sorry. All right, let's see what we have here. There's something up here. I'll find it. Oh, here it is. Okay, this is kind of a curved nail, which is why it was sounding so good. I think it was the curve that the programming picked up on. So, of course, I don't know any of this stuff, you guys. Don't take my word for it. I'm just sort of guessing on how these things work. I am nearing the area where I found an 1826 large cent. Now, what I didn't mention was that that coin had been holed, quite a large hole. Obviously, someone wanted to use it for a washer. But what's curious is that it was either quite an old coin in 1877, which is the date of the map where we found this site, or this site is much older, and I suspect the latter is true. But even so, I mean, this area wasn't really settled until 1850s at the earliest. So it would have been a 25-year-old coin then, but maybe I'm thinking, you know, maybe if somebody rolled in here with a Conestoga wagon, maybe that was holding some of that wagon together. It's always fun to speculate on how odd items or oddly dated items end up at a certain site. One of the really fun things about this hobby. $49.50. And it's a mangled piece of something. Huh. That's interesting. Got a little pattern on it. I think this might be a piece of an oil lamp. Let's get a better look at it. So I unbent it a little bit, and it actually appears to be whole. Very odd. I mean, it's not a thimble. I don't know what that is. Maybe it is a tiny piece of, a piece of a tiny oil lamp, you know, that might have had the wick coming up the middle of that, but that is really curious. This is right on top, 49, I think it said. Oh, well, check that out. This is a toe tap. Okay, that was awfully low, but interesting. Interesting that we didn't find that before. Well, this could be either really good or really disappointing. It's an 86, 87, kind of loud. I mean, it could just be a really good sounding piece of flat metal, but still in there. What do we got here? It's not really high enough to be silver. I'm going to dig it carefully anyway, just to be on the safe side. Is that it? Oh, what the heck is this? Is that some kind of lock? Can't be. No, this is probably some kind of valve. Where you turned it and it opened and closed, allowed something to flow through. Well, that's disappointing. No fault of Tekkna's, though. Farming equipment related, no doubt. Well, I don't know why I didn't recognize this when I dug it. It is, of course, the key to a barrel tap. This would have gone inside of a spigot that's stuck inside of a barrel or a keg, and you would simply turn this key in order to control the flow of the ale or water or whatever was inside. Now, these go back to medieval times. It's a little hard to put a date onto this, but it's very likely period to this site, so late 1800s, and I'm really glad that I found this. Tekkna has locked onto something here at a 71. You know, I swung over it at first and it almost didn't register until the next swing, and then it became very definite. So I gotta see what this is. Be good, be good, be good. What did I say it was, 71? Probably not an Indian unless it's an oldie. Oh. Is this a coin? Oh my goodness, I think this might be a fatty. Shut up. Wow. This is really not in good shape. Let me get a closer look at it here. All right, let's see what we have here. Don't be a Lincoln. Wow, it's not in the best of shape. These farm fields could be really tough on copper. I keep seeing what I want to think is a flying eagle, but I want to make sure my brain is not playing tricks on me here. I do not see the headdress of the Indian, that's for sure. What are you? I'm going to take a brush to it. Come right back. Oh my God, this is a flying eagle. Well, Gary Blackwell, I owe you a pint. This is a flying eagle penny. This is my first one. It is a bucket lister. Now, these were only minted from, I think, 1858 to 1859. So they are rare here in Minnesota. But oh my goodness. I am so stoked I hope I can get a date on that. That might have to wait until after I get home and can really examine this. But, oh, wow. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Tekkna. This is amazing. Well, what can I say? I came here with pretty low expectations, to be honest. I know how hard we've hit this field, 3 of us with Deus 2 detectors. And the last time I went over it, I found virtually nothing. But this morning, with Tekkna on board, I was able to sniff out a flying eagle scent on my bucket list, and I'm absolutely ecstatic about this. Flying eagle scents are pretty rare here in Minnesota. So thank you, Gary. Thank you for giving us Tekkna. If you've watched this channel, you've probably heard me talking about the seeking gene, how we detectorists have this drive and determination that seems like built into our DNA. I wanted to tell you about a recent case that I had with my lost dog work. This is Harley. Harley's owners were visiting family nearby over Easter weekend when Harley decided to go on walkabout. And unfortunately, the owners had to go home to North Dakota. So the family stepped in and my group got involved. We got some sightings and I rushed over with our drone to search for her in the air. And meanwhile, Granddad had their golden retriever Buddy that Harley was bonded to. Buddy ran up to Harley right away, provided a familiar scent for her, and helped her to calm down enough that Grandpa was able to catch her. That kind of work is really rewarding. Consider volunteering some of your time. Just Google your local area, see if there's a nonprofit group you can donate some time to. Detectorists have the drive, determination, and patience and long-suffering to really help families like this bring their loved ones home. So consider it, and please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next show.
Old as